Hey, first grade. I'm so sad I'm not there with you on our last art day of the school year. But I did want to make sure that we were creating something super fun. So we are going to be making a 1 day project. That means that this is going to be one that you have to focus on. If you are doing too much talking or you're not paying attention to your work, you're probably not going to get to finish it and take it home. These are going to be silly, crazy crayons. We are going to be using scissors, glue, a little bit of construction paper, as well as, of course, some crayons to make these and take these home today. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. For our first step, each of you are going to need to make sure that you have your crayon background paper. This is going to create that big shape of your crayon. Each of you also needs to choose your color crayon. I completely don't care which one you choose. Some students in my other classes asked if they could choose a white paper and then do like a rainbow colored crayon. Some students asked if they could do two different colors. So I did leave out a variety pack of paper for you. Please know that if maybe you're looking for a certain color that's not in there, feel free to ask your lovely guest teacher if she'd be willing to get you that color from the art closet. I am more than okay with you guys exploring other colors than whatever I left out. Just make sure you're being respectful and asking your guest teacher if they have the time to do that. I went ahead and just went with purple. Your first step is actually going to be a little bit of drawing shapes. So we're going to want to be creating the top and bottom shapes of your crayon. We've got some rectangles and a little bit of a triangle on top. So what you're going to need to do is create a shape that's going to fit at the end. So what I like to do is use this as a measuring tool and draw my first rectangle. We know that my rectangle is going to have to be about the size of this paper, right? Because we want it to go on top. So I like to kind of trace the top of the paper, okay? Then that gives me the exact size, the exact length that I need for my first rectangle. Now you need two rectangles because again, you're going to have a top rectangle piece and a bottom rectangle piece. So the best way to do this is just to draw another one that's the exact same size. Whenever I'm trying to create something that's the exact same size, I like to use my lines as a measuring tool. We already have a line here, so I know I need another line right here. Let's go to the other side. We know we've got a line here, so we can go ahead and just trace it down. And then connecting those lines back together. Your last shape is a triangle, and the triangle can be slightly smaller than your rectangle. So if you want to just kind of make a guess on how long you think that triangle is going to need to be. Now, once you've got these done, your next step would be to go ahead and cut them out. Remember, when you're cutting out your shapes, guys, take your time, go slow and steady. Once you've cut yours out, you need to go ahead and find whatever color crayon you're creating yours into. You don't necessarily have to match your paper if you don't want to, but I personally, that's just my choice. So I found a purple that I felt like would match and kind of complement that color well. We're using our liquid glue today. These are located at the first grade table spot where we get our supplies. Please, you guys, make sure that when you're done using your glue, you close your lid. If you're not closing these, tomorrow's classes are going to come in and not have any glue that's usable. Make sure when you're done today, you're wiping off any mess that you have on here and you're twisting these all the way back down before you turn them in. You guys know my glue rule. We've been doing this since kindergarten, right? We always say dot, dot, not a lot. And that way we ensure that we're not using too much glue. We're taking our time and we're not going to end up with like a huge mess at the end, right? Anytime we use liquid glue, you guys know we have to count a little bit. I always suggest counting to 10. That usually is long enough for that glue to set and do what it needs to do. Now the bottom side only gets one of your rectangles. However, the top side's a little bit different because you've got two shapes to work with, right? So you're going to want to put your triangle on there first. And since it's kind of popping out the top a little bit, you're only going to want to put glue right here on the bottom of it. If I cover this entire triangle with glue, you guys, it's going to be a hot mess of glue on my paper. So what I like to do is just add one row, dot, dot, not a lot. Turn this upside down. Pushing on our paper again, count to 10. And then, of course, we can go in with our final rectangle. This one should, if you cut it out correctly, fit right over top of it. So Miss Pape's just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And then we can get this right on top. Now, your final steps today are to design your crayon how you want. First and foremost, you're going to want to color in the white space, obviously, unless your crayon is a different type of style. Maybe it's a white crayon or a rainbow crayon. I had somebody in last week's class, they made a patriotic crayon. They did a red, white, and blue crayon, which I thought was really creative. So as far as your details, you can do this one of two ways. If you would rather draw your details on a white paper, cut them out and glue them. This paper you're going to find on our bookshelf where we get our free draw paper. It's just the regular plain white paper. You can use Sharpies to draw your details. You can use a black crayon to draw your details. It's truly up to you. I would 100% color this area first just to be safe, okay? Then you can cut out and glue your little your details, your faces. I've had some students not add a face and make like the Crayola logo that you see here on our actual crayons. I've had some students make them like silly, scary faces before. Okay, so it's completely up to you how you add some personality, right, to your crayon. It's completely up to you how you finish it. These little black stripes right here, there should be some black paper left out for you. These are completely optional if you have room. Depending on how large you make your crayon and how many details you have, you may not have space at the top and bottom to glue those black stripes on. You could always, if you wanted to, you could always draw the stripes on here too, okay? So again, once you finish gluing on your shapes, your next step would be to color in your crayon all the way. Miss Pape won't make you watch me color all of this because as almost second graders, you guys know how to color in the right way. But once you finish coloring, then you can detail your crayon however you want. Give it a personality, give it a name. I've had students make these super, super creative, so have some fun with it. As always, please lean on your guest teacher if you have any questions. And I want you to take these home when you're done with them today. If there is any other art that you guys are missing, that includes clay, painting, sculptures, anything we've done over the school year, please know that Miss Pape will be back tomorrow on Tuesday, and I will drop them off with Miss Pavolka, so you guys will be able to take everything home. I cannot wait to hear about how this goes. Make sure you're being so kind and respectful to your guest teacher and have some fun. Bye, guys.